So yeah, we just went to see the Hunger Games again.
Yeah.
Yes, very thrilling movie. Fuck that, we saw Avengers!
Yeah.
We saw the Avengers, if anyone missed that.
Avengers!
If anyone didn't know this film was coming out, then you're probably living in a cave.
It kind of flew under the radar.
6 years I waited!
It wasn't, you know, talked about at the end of every film.
Yeah, so you know this movie's out there. You know you gotta see this movie.
That must be what an orgasm feels like.
So,
the movie is awesome.
all right.
So,
Pressing question. The question everybody wants to know. They're going into this movie asking, best Marvel movie, best superhero movie.
Yes.
Tied with Captain America
definitely.
first.
I'd say best movie.
Yes.
I say best movie ever that I've ever.
I would also have to agree, best Marvel movie ever.
I'm gonna have to say Spider-Man 2, personally.
Marvel movie.
We're not talking about Spider-Man 2.
It is a Marvel movie.
He's the black sheep of this movie.
Yeah. You like Zac Efron, so fuck it.
Shut up! I think I have just as much. Oh,
I wish I still had my
Whatever.
lightning dart to shoot at you.
I don't see what's wrong with disagreeing. I don't see it.
I don't know. Is there something you're not telling us?
Okay.
It was very clean and orderly.
There are a lot of elements of this movie that really worked and combined to make it what the majority of us, the right ones, consider to be the best Marvel movie of all time.
Let me defend myself.
No.
We're not talking about Spider-Man 2.
This is about the
No,
Avengers.
I'm saying Avengers. It was still easily one of my favorite movies of all time.
All right.
So, you know.
I'm gonna see it again
It all
in
works
literally hours.
It's worth seeing more than once.
Okay, where the fuck are we gonna start? Oh my god, it was so good.
This movie really was a team movie. There was no central hero. Everybody got a chance to kick ass. And yet they did join forces. They were clearly a team.
Like everybody was the lead. Everybody got their own storyline development. You think like team of people, we're gonna focus mainly on one. Maybe somebody's not gonna get as much screen time, but everybody got equal time except maybe Hawkeye. But he was turned evil in the beginning of the movie, and they had to hit him in the head a lot to make him good again. But other than that, everybody got equal time.
Yeah. I liked what they did with Hawkeye. They
Yeah.
made it. He was able to stand toe to toe with Captain America. He was able to kick an equal amount of ass as Iron Man. It was pretty cool.
It was quite good.
It worked out.
Quite good.
What'd you guys think of the change of casting for the Hulk?
Well,
Personally, not my favorite.
I hated
didn't
the
even
first
notice it.
Hulk. Didn't see the second Hulk. So this guy's my favorite Hulk.
I was kind of slightly disappointed because I thought the second Hulk was like epic.
Ed Norton?
Yes.
Ed Norton was perfect for the role. I mean, this guy does it pretty well.
I liked him. He was like
I
super
gotta say, I
chill
liked
the
him
whole
more than Ed
time.
Norton.
But
And
this
Ed
guy
Norton's
was
one of my
pretty
favorite
good, I
actors.
admit. This
I
guy
don't
was
really
pretty
pay
good.
I
attention
can
to
see it.
actors,
I can
so-
see it very well.
This
See-
guy, throughout the entire thing, as the Hulk, as Bruce Banner, you liked him.
The
That was
first,
the fundamental thing.
the first
Even
one
when he's
who
kind of
did
being
it,
selfish
and
and
Eric Bana, I
I
was
don't
just
think you really
like,
call it
what
selfish or not.
the
I mean,
fuck? And then I was just like, okay, and this one I'm like,
but yeah, the characters were all awesome. They were likable. They were
I think the only character that I was not like, every character was great, but I feel like one character they could have done better was How I Met Your Mother's character. I don't remember her name. No one does. Do they?
Maria
she was
Hill's
a
the
shielding.
character's The actress's name, I can't remember.
She is a supporting character at best.
She
The
is
chick that
actually.
hangs around Nick Fury.
She
you'll
was
see
in
her.
the main character role.
Yeah, she was basically there as support for Nick Fury.
She
she
was
was
part
like-
of combat. She had her own
had a-
combat scene. Which
Yeah, she did have a
was-
big epic driving scene where she's driving backwards and the bad guys are driving forwards and they're like really
But they
No,
didn't.
no,
They
she
didn't
has
give
blood on
me.
her
They
face.
didn't give me any reason to like her.
epicness.
They threw her in there, showed her off very, very early on, and showed her off as a main character, and gave her all these scenes. But not once did I go, I like her. I mean, yeah, she's one of my favorite.
She was pretty much like second to Nick Fury, so that made
Yes.
me like her.
Yeah, she's like, you know,
She's like his go-to person.
she's like Black Widow in the Iron Man 2 movie. She's kind of like a kick-ass secretary. So.
Kind of.
I
Like
agree,
Sam-
I agree
Sam-
with both of you guys in a way. Like,
But
in a way, she was famous. I mean, like, she
To
was
put it
popular
another way?
in a way, but then in another way, she was just like.
She fell to the side. She
well, to put it another way,
fell.
What made her famous
how
was
could
that
she have not?
the rest of the time she had blood all
How-
over
I
her
mean,
face. That was it.
As it was pressed for time. Marvel, for some inexplicable reason, or well, Disney, for some inexplicable reason, forced Joss Whedon to cut like 40 minutes out of the thing.
And
so
it's
was
2 hours and
pressed for
23 minutes
time.
long.
Yeah.
And it's still pressed for time. Yeah.
There were scenes that were clearly missing. But even so, would you have really been happier if they took time away from Iron Man to give her more screen time?
Yes.
Or if they
Hell no.
really?
Because I feel every other character got that time.
Yeah,
Even a
would
character
you have
who
rather?
died.
Would you
got
have
that
rather
time.
had? Well, of course, a character that dies is going to get that time.
Still, she's
Would
gonna
you have
be-
rather had less Iron Man and more of her?
I feel like having a little less Iron Man for a little bit of her would have been okay. There was enough Iron Man to where you didn't need.
Can I strike him down?
I can see you getting. I can see you getting rid of that little bit. Iron Man had enough, way enough, and he did amazing, and I'm happy he was there.
That's just fun to do.
But
Loved Iron Man. Like every line was a snarky, smartass remark.
Yeah.
Just, like the most lovable dick you will ever see.
I love that the best quotes were from the Hulk.
Yes.
Even though the best one I couldn't hear because in his big climactic scene where he fights Loki, the audience, it was such an amazing scene, such an awesome sight to behold that both our audiences
And the biggest like
Burst
fuck
out.
you to Loki.
burst out laughing and applauding,
I'm willing to be
and he says something.
I don't think he does. I think.
Well,
he,
no, he
What?
does, and I think what he says
no,
is
guys,
some
he does
god.
not say anything.
No, I'm talking
He's
about the
still.
Hulk.
Oh, the Hulk doesn't say anything either. He just walks away.
No, he says
He
something.
just and then walks away. He beats them. He throws him,
We'll
throws him,
wait
throws
for
him,
it to
throws
be
him,
on
throws him.
DVD,
It
and
shows
then we'll
Loki
just like,
indented in the
okay,
ground,
Shut up.
and then
Yeah,
it moves
they-
on.
they-
Well, I think what he says is some god, because Loki's bragging about how he's some great god,
you are beneath me.
and then Hulk just smashes him around and just says some god.
See, I don't think he said anything.
I
'cause
didn't hear
at-
it.
There was
He
no
said
other
something.
point at which the Hulk spoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, when
Not
he
Not even
Hulk-
to say
yeah,
Hulk
no.
smash.
No, he
When
didn't.
Captain America had to say
One other
Hulk
line.
smash, which
Yeah,
you probably
he had
saw
one
in the
other line. I don't
commercials.
remember what it was, but it was a good line. I know that.
Okay, this movie did something that I've seen other movies do, but generally fails utterly. Here it worked gloriously, and that is that the last 40 to 50 minutes of this film is an extended action sequence. And Transformers 2 tried this.
Failed.
Transformers 3 tried this.
Probably failed.
It was
I didn't see it because the second one failed.
unwatchable in those movies. Here, it kept amping up. I kept getting more and more excited. It worked here.
Well,
Like,
I think the difference there. Well, maybe this is just me, but with like Transformers, like a pixel orgy, it's like all that you can't tell what's going
There
on.
was a lot of
Yeah.
CGI in this too.
There was,
There
but it was
was.
real characters.
They did even the
Yeah, I
shaky
think
scene.
one of the
There was a
things
shaky scene with
that
Captain
made
America.
this work was like Transformers. It's like, oh, there's a Decepticon. This guy's got to fight him. Sam, run! Megan Fox and whoever that second chick was, stand here and look greasy and sexy and pouty.
They even
But
did
this-
they did shaky scenes right too, because most scenes don't do that
They-
right. But with Captain
true.
America running around,
And like
They did it
this scene,
perfect.
it was like, oh, it's like, okay, so now we see what Captain America's doing. But what's Black Widow up to? So they'd cut to Black Widow, and you'd be like, oh, this character's kicking ass. And then they'd show you another character that just to remind you they're still kicking ass.
Yeah.
So I think that's one thing that made it work. Plus, like, they'd beat down a whole swarm of whatever the hell these things are, and they're giant whale ships. That I don't even know what the fuck those things were. But and then
Giant
like
whale ships works.
giant whale ships, they just beat everything down, and then more come out of the giant hole in the sky.
And their reaction? Let's get back to work.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
just like, all right, we kicked some ass. Oh shit, more of them. Okay.
There were a couple shots that worked really well that were like long continuous shots. A lot of the fight took place in the air, but it would like start with Captain America on the ground fighting these things on the ground. It would move up
The ground force
to
is
see, go up to see Hawkeye shooting things with arrows. Something would fly past. Black Widow would be on the back of that. It would follow that for a while.
Thing.
Iron Man would fly past the other way. It would follow her or him. He would fly under one of the big ships that Hulk and Thor are standing on top of.
Iron Man is a female. So.
It was really, it was seamless. There weren't any points that dragged on. And I think another one of the reasons why this worked and Transformers didn't, other than a lack of Shia LaBeouf, was that they were willing to put jokes into their action sequences.
Yeah, I mean, but one of the best parts of that whole scene is like Hulk and Thor are kicking ass together, and they're standing there side by side. The Hulk
fist bump,
just bashes Thor to the side.
Can I get a fist bump?
I like both descriptions of it. That some of us had said he was just like, you know what, Thor, fuck you, get out of my way. Other people have said it was meant to be like, we're kicking ass together.
Is it fist bump time? I think it's B.
You know, Hulk's up, Brony.
You're not with me next time.
I still think it was a revenge punch.
Could have been.
Could have been. Revenge punch, bro fist, either way, it was
quite
cool.
funny. Works really well.
And there were a lot of jokes like that. They were just sort of like,
throughout the movie. There was no point in the movie where Joss Whedon was like, okay, this is the serious bit. There were jokes everywhere.
Yeah.
Even Black Widow. Black Widow's fighting the Hulk. Two guys walk in and she's just go, 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 go!
Where they take off.
Actually, my favorite joke in this was where Iron Man is like telling, Captain America he's telling him to go, check the circuit breakers. He pulls it on and he's like, what do you see? He's like, it appears to run on electricity.
Well, you're not
all
wrong.
right about that.
You're not wrong. There were a lot of scenes. Alright.
Okay, move on to the next bit. Loki is the villain, the main villain.
I liked it because, we could have... Well, one thing, we needed a villain already established, as we talked about before we went on camera. And most of them in the past movies were dead. So Loki works for that, because otherwise we would have had to, get the backstory on some new guy.
Of the survivors, he's the most powerful.
Yeah. Plus, he disappears at the end of Thor, and then when you wait for the credits, you're like, oh, he's still alive and wants to do evil shit. So that really works. And he's commanding an army, but he's still kind of a lackey, as you'll see, so I think it works for me.
It works for me because the main threat in this is the army.
Yeah.
They're the physical threat. He's the insidious...
I'm gonna do shit.
Background threat.
Excuse me.
It worked that way. It worked that way.
Well, I think actually there's a quote from some people commenting on Star Wars. I think works here. We're talking about Darth Vader, the prequels and stuff. It's they're complaining Darth Vader's this whiny emo kid. That's exactly who would try to take over the world with an army of alien robots.
I personally am always the devil advocate. Always.
I mean that's actually what he was. He was just a whiny little kid in this, complaining that he was, bested by Thor.
Thor, you always overshadowed me, so I'm gonna take over your precious Earth with my army.
While I loved it, I feel like another villain, even if minuscule, Red Skull, who I feel they should have brought back. I mean, they set it up very well.
Even if he survived getting sucked into the cube, he's probably dead by now.
It shows that the cube goes to this alternate realm.
Yeah.
You'd think they would have gone, who are you? Red Skull, I hate Captain America, let's go kill some humans. And they go, whoa, 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 humans? You want to fight the humans? We can help you. Let's work together. And I feel like they skipped that whole possibility.
Yeah.
And I feel Loki was given no strength. I feel when he was fighting an enemy, Loki would just lose. There was no, when
Loki's
Thor comes down and
was
fights
just that
him.
He was trying to be intimidating,
He
I'm
almost
gonna
got
start
everyone to kill
some
everyone
shit.
else just with his staff.
Yeah.
Which is cool, but I still feel for a final villain, for that final boss.
He wasn't the
he
final
was
villain.
kind of
The
him.
army was the final
was the
villain.
Yeah,
final
like I said, he was a whiny little kid bringing about the apocalypse.
Yeah, but even Darth Vader got the final kill. Even Darth Vader had the final fight.
No, Anakin Skywalker. But that's
but Darth Vader
The final fight was...
Darth Vader and Anakin versus the Emperor.
No,
Darth Vader
Luke
and Anakin
Darth
are the
Vader.
same
Darth
person.
Vader didn't do shit in that fight. He just
Skywalker.
picked him up and threw him.
Yeah.
Still wasn't.
Okay, we're getting off topic.
Yeah, alright. What else do we want to hit on?
Do we want to tell them where Stan Lee shows up? Because other than X-Men First Class, he's been in every Marvel movie.
I feel they missed an opportunity there, honestly. Because there's a scene where
the old guy.
Hulk ends up in a destroyed building, and he
Banner
comes
again.
to as Bruce Banner, and there's this old dude there saying, "Oh yeah, I saw what happened. Yeah, are you an alien? Oh, you're not? Okay, cool."
You got some
Here's some
and he
clothes.
gives him some clothes. That should have been Stan Lee.
Really
Yeah.
should have been.
That's what I thought when I was watching. Why isn't this Stan Lee?
Yeah, where they put Stanley, I thought they really wasted because like they waited till like the very end to show him, and like
Yeah.
there's a big montage, and you, when you see it, you're
he's
like, okay,
old.
if they're gonna put Stanley anywhere in this movie, this is where they're just gonna put him. And they do just kind of throw him. He's like turning around in a chair, and he's like, oh,
He's playing chess in the park or
Avengers-
something.
Yeah, playing chess in the park. He's in a chair, turn around, and says something about the Avengers.
Eileen.
I can't remember if he said they were good or bad because everyone
wanna
was
hold
cheering
this?
for Stan Lee, but okay.
He said he can't believe that a bunch of superheroes were fighting in the middle of New York.
Ah.
He didn't believe it.
I
Felt
do
like
like
that's
that
like something out of a
every
comic
movie
supposed to hit on
Stanley gets a
before.
bigger role.
I felt like there was something else that we were gonna hit on, but I can't think of what it
I
was.
feel that way too.
Okay. You wanted just to hit on something we didn't like about the movie.
Because, you know, it was a great movie, but there's still
Yeah.
something that can be improved. There's always something that can be
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least we fussy plebeians think there is.
Okay.
improved.
I thought the thing that
Have to
most
be worthy.
struck me was the missing scenes. And there was one point where I felt this
Damn right.
really clearly. That Loki shows up, tries to take over a bunch of guys, bunch of humans in Germany. They fight. He ends up caged. Thor comes up, talks to him. They have their argument that they always do when they talk to each other. And Thor says, "You killed 40 people over 2 days," or something
No,
like that.
they're like
80
Thor's-
people over
80
2 days.
Thor is
people
like explaining
over 2 days.
like why he's
They
there.
don't
and
show
someone
that
says
happen.
That.
I think.
But
I
that
think
did
the
lead to my
I think
favorite
the implication
joke.
was when he like caused that when he originally appeared and like killed a bunch of people in that
Killed a bunch of
facility.
people. He
That was
probably
not over
killed,
2 days. That was over 30
There was
seconds.
probably another
No, but
day
they do
where
make
he
a
killed
point of showing all the bodies that are dead. So I think that's what they were going over.
Yeah.
I don't think so, because
But
A,
that
there was
did-
nowhere near 80
That
people.
did,
in
though, lead to like one of my favorite
I think
jokes.
that there
like,
was-
it was really Thor's
Well,
only
there
joke
was-
when he was told
There
he
was
killed
probably
them.
more than 80 people, but there just wasn't 80 people shown.
Well,
Yeah.
I think there was a scene where he
From the
showed up
blast.
somewhere, killed a bunch of people.
Possibly.
I think that's what happened.
Oh, when he's at the museum. Or,
And he like
he killed like 2
gouges,
people.
No, he
gouges
killed-
the guy's eye out.
there's got to be more kills there. That's
Probably
He was
were more.
going
It
to
might
kill
be
the old
both
man,
those.
but-
That might have been a series of 2 days. That might be where they're talking about the 40, 80
I feel
kills.
like there's a
80
scene missing there.
It might be.
It
might
is
be.
possible.
Can't prove it until we see the
My,
scene.
my pet peeve with this was that they changed all the costumes, and some of them I liked, but Captain America, he looks ridiculous in this movie. He,
Well, he was supposed to
He
change
looks like Captain
costumes
America.
by
He looks like the
by
comic.
comic
yeah, but,
standards.
Like
in the
Captain
first
America.
Avenger movie, they got the costumes perfect, and that is very difficult to do. And I understand they want to change it for the big new movie. And
No,
then-
because he
well,
changed it in the comics
Yeah,
too.
in the comics, in the
In the first
original
movie,
1940s
it was
comics, he's
fatigues.
wearing army fatigues.
Yeah.
They were
then-
at war. He was dressed as a soldier of the time. In
Yeah,
this
and now-
movie,
When he gets
they
like,
acknowledged that the whole point of the costume was to get
patriotic.
to be a symbol.
Yeah.
and
yeah.
like
So they
even in
made
the
him more
comics,
of
when
a
he was
symbol.
unfrozen, they gave him the new costume.
Yeah,
So-
but my point is that this costume looks absolutely terrible on him.
Well, that's what it's supposed
You
to look
try
like.
to make that.
It
You
made-
try to make that
change
costume
it.
look
They
badass.
did it what they did in the first movie.
Yeah, but that's
they
the
can't
no.
have
You're not.
it because they change it.
That's the point.
It's supposed to be
In the
changed.
original, it's supposed to be army fatigue, which might look cool, but in the new film,
And
you have to fit
let's
with
face
the
it,
fact
that costume was
that they're
created
not
in the
in
60s.
army wartime.
Chances are it was designed
That was
under the
created in the,
influence
it
of
was created in
acid.
the 30s, but
No, the new costume
Oh.
was 60s.
To make a point of the fact that he changed the new costume in the comic, and it looks pretty much the same except a little.
Except the wings don't stick out; they're just like
Except it's
decals.
actual stripes, not straps. It's not wearing a helmet. That's
it-
pretty much
well,
it.
And I
compared
do
to
like
the
that it
comic
showed like
book of the
zippers
new
and
version.
stuff.
It's pretty much the same.
I don't
Okay.
know. I just
Well, you don't want to know which my
Gary, go.
Thor. I like Thor. I think he did great in the film. But I feel when he entered, he had a pretty cool entrance. But I feel everyone else had this build-up scene, Iron Man talking to his girlfriend,
Captain America punching, several punching bags down.
And then having you go pick up another
And
one.
showing him being welcomed into this, not Avengers at the moment, but Shield at the time.
And then of course,
and then Thor, he just, it was cool. He grabs Loki out of the plane and flies off.
Well, they're flying in a plane. He just somebody hitters on a
Okay, I will simulate.
Every other character was approached by Shield. And that was the scene they showed, them being approached by S.H.I.E.L.D. They gave him his intro scene. It just took place after he showed up on screen. They gave him the scene. He does grab Loki, takes him off, and then they have their exchange.
And he talks to Loki, and he's like, you are fucking up Earth. This is my realm to protect.
I will say, Loki says how he gets there.
Yeah,
I do like that. He does explain it. I do think it'd be cooler to see it. Now, is it negative? No. Is there improvement there possible? I feel yes. And I think they worked with the time they had, but they could have done something.
All right. John?
In truth, there were a lot of scenes that they could have made better. And I would say I like the comics a whole lot better, but that's personal opinion. But as far as the movie goes, if any scene could have been made better, it probably be the opening scene.
I agreed. I was kind of trailing off.
I was kind of
on the
underwhelmed
opening.
by the opening.
I was really underwhelmed
I thought
by
what
the
it was doing
opening
was throwing
scene.
us right into the action. They didn't bother with any kind of setup, any kind of.
But
I liked how it
I
sounded.
mean,
felt
it
Inner
jumped
villain.
in.
kind of standard to me.
It jumped into, here's an immediate threat. Here's something that is happening that we can't control,
I think Loki's
and this is what's going to happen.
Well,
Instead of
my question is,
explaining what is going on and actually working with it from there and then getting into an immediate threat, it just immediately starting off with an immediate threat and then the villain, the sub-villain coming in, right there. No, it doesn't seem to work.
I'll put it this way for me. That opening sequence was nowhere near as good as the middle of the movie.
Yeah.
And it was nowhere near as good as the end of the movie. In another movie, it would have been fine. I wouldn't comment on it. But in this movie, it was the weakest point of the film.
I liked it.
No, I'm not saying it was bad.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
it
no!
was still really
I
good,
think it was a
but-
great opening. I think if they would have done it differently,
It
they would have been
was-
trailing off. I feel like they started off with boom, this is what's going on, this is what's happening, this is the problem. Start. Hawkeye's a bad guy. He has these powers, which I don't like that they never show it again.
He's got the big.
That's one thing.
He's got
Another thing, they never show the power again of him controlling brains, except on.
He tries.
He does try on one. He tries on.
He tries on Iron
He-
Man.
Hulk.
He gets.
No, Iron Man.
He
He
tries on
pokes
Iron
Iron Man.
doesn't try
Oh
on
yeah,
Iron Man.
because
He
his
hits the
arc
demon.
reactor
He
a
tries
million
it on
times.
Iron
Like,
Man, but he hits the arc reactor in his
Actually,
chest.
that's another thing I think was missing from this. And I don't know if this is on the deleted scenes or not. But where he tries to directly control the Avengers, and they prove that some people can resist his mind control power. Because there was that one guy they're like sort of, all right, all of you kneel.
That wasn't
And then-
mind control.
That wasn't mine.
Just-
No,
No,
that was
no,
I'm
no,
gonna
no,
kill
wasn't-
you if you don't
That
kneel.
was
He's trying to
This guy's
say
like,
I am
I'm standing up to
intimidation
you.
technique. He was yelling and screaming, and he had clones of
No,
himself
I think
popping
it was
out in other
mind
directions.
control.
No,
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 it's not
he
mind
surrounded
control.
them.
And then he walks through them, and they're like,
He walks.
No,
No,
they're
like,
not
they
in
were
awe. They're terrified.
That was
You can see their
intimidation.
faces. They're not trying to look
That
at
was
him.
that was an
Mind
intimidation
control.
And
tactic.
then the one guy's like, I lived through way too much shit to be taken down by some Fruit Loop in a fancy gold and green
well, he wasn't a
costume.
hillbilly, but
Yeah.
I never said anything
I
about
didn't like his
hillbillies.
costume. There's a little one. Very, very slightly, but I wasn't a fan of the.
I liked it.
thought that
I
was
get why it
amazing.
was
I
there.
thought
The
his
only thing I
costume
didn't
was
like
amazing.
about Loki's costume is my sister and I have already decided to be Thor and Loki for Halloween, and I'm the only one who can make costumes, so I'm gonna have to recreate that. But
The
it's
horns
a really.
of strength.
I'm gonna Google everything. How do I
Majestic elk.
make helmets with giant antler horn things? Anyway, my only thing.
Styrofoam.
My only
But
thing with
it's
the movie.
Styrofoam and wire. That's how you do it.
But the thing is, I think we're all going to see this movie again before it comes out on DVD. I think we're all going to come back here and see it again because
We're still in the point of negative, or not negative,
Yeah,
but
like,
fixable
what?
problems.
Okay. Megan, go.
Okay, now that you have the God of Thunder's attention, my only thing, like other than like the opening, was a character I like died, but it was justified and it got everybody together. So I guess it's not that big of a problem. But I am
can't
gonna
remember
miss
the
this
character.
character in the sequel.
We are going to thoroughly miss him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really cool.
All right.
He's been in just
Although,
about
I
every
think he was
event,
kind of
every
more annoying in this
Marvel
movie than he was in
movie.
any other.
He was, because he like goes
And
to Captain
we will
America,
miss
like
him.
I was watching
Yeah,
you while you were asleep.
he goes fanboy mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God, Captain America.
Out of 10.
9.
9.
8.8.
10!
Ten!
Ever bigger than Infinity?
9.
Infinity plus 1.
Totally 10.
Okay. I think that's it.
Alright, now I gotta take the Rainbow Bridge back to Asgard.